to our pod. And by that, I mean on Wednesdays we read. I'm Hannah.
I'm Laura.
And we are two best friends who are doing a deep dive into a book series, one book at a time. Right now, we are shiting on the Wheel of Time, and we are finishing up Robert Jordan's fifth book in the series, The Fires of Heaven. Before we get to that, Laura, what have you been reading, watching, and or enjoying?
So I've watched quite a few things recently.
Me too.
I've watched some old favorites, such as The Golden Girls and The Office, because they are staples in my TV diet.
I've never seen The Golden Girls all the way through.
I don't think I have either, because I can watch it. So I have what's the app? I can't even remember. It's on my Fire Stick. Somehow I watch it. I can't remember it's a green app. But
guys, go to the green app for Golden
the green
Girls.
One. You guys know. But anyways, you can watch Golden Girls on there, and it's just at the same time that it's on regular TV, apparently.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely the Hallmark Channel.
Oh.
And they always play a million episodes of Golden Girls, but you can skip over all the Hallmark shows and you can watch just the Golden Girls. So that's usually what I do. But I also come across new shows. I'm like, oh, I've never seen this one. And then there's other ones I'm like, oh, I love this one. But that's a really funny show. There's so many moments with Betty White and B. Arthur that just are hilarious.
Laura,
actually all of them are hilarious.
If I were a Golden Girl, which one should I be?
Which one should you be?
Or which one would I be?
I
don't know anything. I mean, I know their archetypes, but
I don't know. You kind of have Dorothy energy, I feel like.
I feel like that's probably true. Who would you be on Golden Girls?
I like to say that I have Dorothy energy, but realistically, I'm more like Betty White.
Okay.
I'm more like Rose Nyland.
I recently said something that has never been more accurate. Someone said something about being dramatic, and I said, Laura's the drama of our podcast because I'm not very dramatic.
I replied, no argument.
Yeah. Laura frequently, we Marco Polo each other a lot. She frequently will get halfway through a Marco Polo and go, I know I've ranted to you about this a lot, but she'll just keep going. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But
I have a hard time letting things go.
I asked you that because I realized I don't like to self-identify as characters. I like to hear how other people identify me as character. You know, when people are like, oh, what are you? And it's just I don't like that. I would rather have someone do it for me because I feel like it's more accurate that way.
Yeah, I think that's true because people have often a inflated version of themselves. And so they tend to think that they are awesome and give themselves the best character.
Well, and everyone thinks they're the main character because they're the main character in their own life, which is why I live by a very tried and true way to live for me is saying people don't think about you as much as you think about yourself.
Oh, that's definitely true.
It saved me so much anxiety as someone who has lots of anxiety. One of my anxieties is not someone's thinking about me more than I'm thinking about me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I've been learning about myself is that I tend to get very attached to things and conversations and interactions that I have with people, and that other people, they aren't as attached. So why get attached? Save yourself the time and let it go. So
exactly.
It's a difficult thing to do, but it's probably why I'm so attached to drama and everything is because I get attached to everything.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not a very dramatic person. I've had a lot of dramatic things happen to me when I was younger. And I think that just taught me that I can't be dramatic. You just kind of go with the flow.
Sure.
But what are some of the newer things you're watching?
So we had a watch party yesterday and watched The Witcher with some of our podcast friends.
Yes, we did.
That was fun, except I didn't interact very much with everybody because I was literally on Witcher Wikipedia trying to figure out who people were and what was going on. This is how I get through fantasy series.
This is also, it shows us very specific characteristics of how Laura and I interact with people because I also didn't understand, but I just kind of let it ride. I was just like, whatever. And then we finished it and I was like, but what is a Witcher?
See, this is me getting attached and I have to know what's happening. I also identify as an Enneagram 5. So I have to know. I have to look up everything to figure out what is going on. And so that's literally what I was doing during this watch party. It was trying to figure out what was going on. And I did, and I got a lot of spoilers from the Wikipedia, but
I mean, same.
it is
I
what
did
it
too.
is.
I did too, but we're okay with spoilers. It happens. But
I don't really mind spoilers on certain things, and that's one of them. I don't really care if I get spoilers.
I feel like one of our biggest blind spots are like video games, because we were never really video games people outside of Game Boy. Yeah. And so since The Witcher is based on a video game, you're kind of like coming into it in a different dynamic when you're just watching it. But Henry Cavill is my perfect man, and Laura knows this. So
I do know this. I have done extensive research on his involvement in The Witcher before even seeing the series. So.
I mean, by extensive research, it's really, I watched some Graham Norton clips. I'm not gonna that was my extensive research.
Hannah knows his entire workout routine.
Yeah, that's though I watched a Graham Norton clip, and that was like the one thing I knew about it, and I really like took hold of that one key fact that I had.
I'm almost positive though that Henry Cavill, is it Cavill or Cavill? How do you say it?
I don't know. I always say Henry Cavill, but I could see it being Cavill.
Okay. Well, Henry, as we friends like to call him, he is actually, I think, managed by, I believe, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's manager.
Oh, so your favorite person?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's my thing.
They have the same trainer, so hence they're rockin' bods. So.
Got it. Also, I should let it be known, the whole like him being Hannah's perfect man is just in college. I always said that I wanted Clark Kent, not Superman. I wanted the nerdy version of Superman.
But also him in real life, he is a nerd, and he is also a beautiful human being. So, I mean, it fits both ends.
It fits my personality in particular. So that is just some key facts on that. But yeah, so we watched The Witcher. Laura and I also both watched Never Have I Ever season 2.
What'd you think of it?
It was not as good as season 1. I did sob once over something. It was something with the mom. Something happened with the mom, and then I just started crying. I mean, it was just like the emotional thing that set me off. But it wasn't as good. We talked about like one of the storylines we felt was way overblown, especially in context of like, this is
how it happened.
Yeah. Well, and the show's only been going like in the world of the show, only 4 months have passed, and her dad died the previous year. So like it hasn't even been like, it was just a little over a year. And the way people react to some of the things she did, like, this girl's a nightmare. Don't get me wrong. That's the whole point of the show, and it's hilarious. But her dad did just die a year ago.
Sure.
And so I felt like the school, also she's in therapy, but there's no interaction with like her therapist checking in with her mom over some of these things, or with the school knowing she's in there. And I feel like that probably would be happening on some level, you know, where it's like,
I mean, I don't know, because it seems like in the show, her mom tends to keep their family matters very private.
That's true.
So I don't know that maybe there would be that. I can't say that she would be involved with the school and letting them know what was going on. But I did think there was a really good interaction between her and her therapist towards the later part of the season, where some of the kids at school were, you know, they didn't mean it to be mean. I don't think they say it in a joking way, but it becomes very hurtful to someone who's dealing with mental health to be called crazy, and they referred to her often as Crazy Davy. And I think that the scene that followed with Davy and her therapist was handled really well.
I thought that was handled very well. I agree with that. So that was good. Have you been reading anything?
So I'm still reading A Discovery of Witches.
Oh, how's that going?
Okay, so it is basically Twilight.
Okay.
But let me also add that it is better than Twilight. So it's like, if you wanted to read about vampires, but you wanted it to be well written, this is probably your book.
I want to let you know that my sister texted me after she found out you were reading A Discovery of Witches from the podcast. She listens to every episode. And she said, I think Laura will really like it. The third book is trash. So that is the ringing endorsement for my sister. Just A Discovery of Witches is a great book, and the third book is trash. So
I really like a lot of the things about it so far. I don't particularly like that they jump straight into a romance with a vampire when it's like, you kind of set her up as being this really interesting character who is like kind of rejecting some of her magic and some of her family things that have happened. And, she's a scholar and a professor, but then it's just like she kind of kicks that all to the wayside when it's like, ooh, hottie vampire.
I mean, isn't that what all women do, Laura? We're just waiting for that man who wants us to throw away
waiting for that
about
vampire
us.
to watch us in our sleep. But
oh, God, that's so gross. Ew.
I think that is such a vampire thing. It happens in so many vampire stories. But yeah, I would say that this so far is very much giving me Twilight vibes, but it's for adults and it's a better written story.
Okay.
So I think if you're looking for something like Twilight that's like very like fantastical and there's witches and demons and stuff like that, this is the book for you, and Twilight is not the book. So
good to know, because I was really thinking about rereading Twilight.
I would say skip it, Hannah, and go to A Discovery of Witches instead.
Sounds good.
Or just skip both. I mean, I do think that this is one of those books where it's like, I'm probably going to like consider this a guilty pleasure type book, but I don't know that I will return back to it to reread it ever.
That's fair. I think that that's fine. I think that that's healthy. Everyone needs a guilty pleasure book once in a while.
Agreed. What have you been reading?
So I've been kind of reading, I'm kind of all over the place after getting back from vacation. Sometimes I think I have like a book hangover where I just can't.
Oh, I hate
I've
that.
read so much that I just can't get into anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like tried to start Lord of Chaos because we have to discuss it next week.
Sure.
And
yeah, I also started that.
That's like going a little bit slower. I just don't feel like it. And I'm also reading, I like kind of stopped and put this book down, The Ninth Metal by Benjamin Percy. It's like the first book in a trilogy that's coming out. It's sci-fi. It's very weird. Like, I think it's good. It's just like this comet comes down and brings like this type of metal that's like really key, but it can also be used as a drug, and people are kind of fighting over it because like it's up in Minnesota. And then there's like a boy who was hit by one of the meteors, and he is like now indestructible, and people are doing science experiments on him. So it's a little all over the place, and it's good. It's just like I can't get into it. And I can't, like, I think it's just this week I can feel how long it's taking me to read, and I hate thinking about how long, like, oh, I'm at 45% when I'm really gonna hit 50. Like, I hate feeling like that. But I don't think it's the book's fault. I think it's my fault. And then
I think that people just hit certain points. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
That people just hit certain points in their schedule or their life where they're just like, okay, it's difficult for me to read right now. And that happens to me. I notice usually around this time of the year where I get a little bit slower with my reading goals. I read less. And I don't know if that's just a combination of doing more outside and having a lot going on during the summer, and the wintertime being more of a time where I'm inside. I don't know if that's what it is, but I feel like, you can hit a slump or a busy week, and that'll just throw you for a loop, and you're just not feeling it.
Yeah. And I think that it's also healthy. Like, I'm not trying to force myself out of it. I think I'm just kind of, I'm spinning into the skid, as you will, or turning into the skid, as you will. Because I'm also reading the second book of V.E. Schwab's the Shades of Magic trilogy. And I'm really liking that. I'm about 100 pages in out of 500. But again, I'm just not feeling reading right now. But overall, that book is doing exactly what it needs to do. It's a fun little book.
I haven't read any of their other books, but they're definitely on my radar and on my TBR, and their Instagram is cool. I really like following her.
Yeah, I really like her stuff as well. So I have heard some things about like the invisible life of Addie LaRue and how it doesn't treat a biracial person with enough depth. So that's unfortunate.
Sure. Yeah.
But I've heard good things about all of her work, and I really liked the first one. So I'm enjoying the second one, but instead I'm watching a lot of TV.
What all have you watched?
So I watched Never Have I Ever, obviously. And I also watched all of Loki this week.
Okay.
It was So good. I really liked it. I thought it was the best of the series. I really loved WandaVision, but WandaVision kind of like the last episode wasn't it for me. It was like I told you, it was way too comic booky. I wasn't here for it, didn't need it. And then I also watched, the only movie I hadn't been able to see yet of all of the different like comic book movies were the Spider-Man movies, because they're not on Disney Plus because it's owned by Sony.
Yep.
So I got like a free week of Stars, and I watched that last night. And so I've just been doing lots of different TV.
So these are the Andrew Garfield ones, or these are the Tom Holland?
These are the Tom Holland ones, but like all Spider-Man was owned by Sony. And so like Disney's trying to overtake some of these you know, as it like moves forward, but it's a little bit different.
One
so
of the five powers of the world: Disney, Verizon, Exxon.
Guys, I really hope we do antitrust reform soon, because
this is just my joke.
Hannah doesn't put her nerd lawyer hat on, but antitrust laws are trash right now and they need to change. So it really bothers me. Laura knows I never get bothered by stuff. So the fact that like it's antitrust, I mean, that's pretty on brand for me. Like the randomest thing in the world. But I also grew up hating Walmart because my mom owned or was the manager of a small grocery store. So I just hate the man, apparently.
Stick it to the man.
You guys, we need antitrust reform in the worst way. The way they're read, I could go into it. Nobody wants to hear it. But if you ever did want to hear it, you can message me and we could talk about it.
I mean, I'm interested in it, but
it's just like antitrust laws, when they were made, they were meant to protect competition. Like that's their whole form. But then judges started reading antitrust laws as to like save the consumer and make sure the consumer wasn't being affected. But by only looking at the consumer, a lot of stuff slides by. Like Amazon being a huge company that can like knock out all other competition. They're like, but the consumer is still getting a low price, so it's not affecting them.
Like as a small business owner myself, I have a lot of issues with Amazon because we have to, like in our business, we have to order a lot of parts, and people will come in and complain to us about the price of things, and they'll say, oh, well, I can get it off of Amazon for half the price. And basically what they do is they will sell things at a loss in order to get repeat customers, which drives everyone else out of business.
Yep. And the problem is antitrust is supposed to protect competition, but because they're like, well, it's not bad for the like person buying stuff. So yada, yada, yada. And then when all the other businesses are put out of business, what happens? Then they control the prices no matter what, and they can take control. So we should be protecting against that ever coming to pass, but it doesn't happen. I'm really sorry. I did get an A- in antitrust law.
Hey,
so,
no, you did good.
Which was really good because the smart people I knew all got B's, and then they were like, we don't know anyone else who like got higher than a B. And I was just like sitting over there in my smugness. I got okay grades.
Tapping your fingers, but... maniacal laugh.
I mean, it was an antitrust, so again, pretty nerdy of me that was the class that I was like, I get this. But anyway, that was my 2 minutes on antitrust law. I apologize, guys.
No, I like it.
I don't think Laura expected that take what she
I didn't expect it, but you know what? I'm here for it.
I don't think we've talked about my passion for antitrust issues, but big business is just not good, guys. No. Okay, moving on. So yeah, I've been just kind of here, there. Oh, and I also watched Luca.
Did you love it?
It was so cute. That girl's dad was just like everything to me.
I know.
And he like
a little cat.
And he's like, he doesn't have an arm, and he's like, it was bitten off by a sea monster. I'm kidding. I was born like this. It was so wholesomely cute. It was like, God, and people should watch like all the stuff about people doing deep dives on how this like really speaks to the gay community and like gay relationships and everything. And it's very adorable, and everyone should watch it. I loved it.
Hannah, have you watched Soul? We watched that over the weekend.
Yes, I have watched Soul.
What did you think of that one?
I thought it was cute, and it kind of missed its mark a little bit for me.
I agreed. I think that the message overall that they were trying to get out there was that like you can be happy with your life, even if, it's just a mediocre one. I don't know. I guess that's kind of what I took from it, that there's no like need to be worrying constantly about trying to find a greater purpose in life, that a lot of times the simple things in life are all you need, and that you can still live a very happy life if you just take a minute to sit around and enjoy
I'm
what's
definitely
going on around you.
I'm okay with that as a message, though.
I am too, but I think I maybe expected more from it. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I didn't expect more than that. I was more bothered by like, this is a story of a black man coming to terms with his life through the eyes of Tina Fey.
Oh yeah.
I just didn't care about that as much. Like, I wish it had been just his story instead of
I
like
kind
making
of
sure.
would have honestly I guess I didn't know the whole I didn't watch the trailer or anything like that, I guess. But the thing that I came into thinking it was about was like literally jazz music and like soul music. I thought it was about that, and I did not expect it to be literally about souls. And
Right.
so I was a little thrown, but yeah, I definitely see the point you're making, and that is problematic. I kind of wish it would have been more just like about his jazz music situation rather than throwing in the like, oh, here you have to fall down into a manhole and then your soul gets put in a
Exactly.
cat. It would have been
Yeah.
better, I think, if it was maybe a realization of him coming to learn that, his passion for music is something that he has been chasing forever and trying to become a musician, but that's maybe not what's going to give him a fulfilling life, that simple things around him were giving him a fulfilling life. Disney, call me. But
Disney, call me. I, okay.
they've got me on speed dial. But
You've got the time and the money. Come on, just
yeah.
call Laura and explain to no, but that's kind of my point. Like, I just felt it would have been better had it actually been about this man's life
Yeah.
and like him coming to terms with it. It just wasn't.
Yeah, it
Um
yeah, I agree with that. I'm not going to go into it anymore because you said it simply what I should have said.
no. um yeah. So that's I've seen Soul. Yeah, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't my favorite of all the movies. I'm excited for the newest Disney movie that's going to come out though.
Oh, which one is that?
It's I think Disney's kind of honing in right now on like movies where it's okay not to be special,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is pretty healthy to teach kids.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing. But there's a new movie coming out. The movie's called Encanto, and it is like a Brazilian girl who is the only one in her family who doesn't have magical powers.
Okay.
And Lin-Manuel Miranda is writing the music. And
So it's going to be happen.
exactly. And it said that they cast Stephanie Beatriz from Brooklyn Nine-Nine as the star.
Ooh.
You should look at the trailer. It is adorable. It looks very colorful, amazing, like so great. So I'm excited
You
for
had me
that.
at Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll stop my sale.
Who am I kidding? You had me at Disney's coming out with a new movie.
That's yeah, I figured that was actually more accurate. Okay. Well,
I was actually told today my cousin that he said, "Do you have Disney Plus?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you like the Marvel movies?" I said, "Well, actually, I'm on a journey to watch all of them." And he said, "Did you know that the Black Widow movie, they put it behind a paywall, so you have to wait until October to watch it for free?" And I I literally reacted by going, "What?" And then I realized it will take me months to get to that point. Why do I care?
Laura, if it comes, if you get there and it's still behind the paywall, I'll come home and we'll do a movie night and we'll
But
pay.
let me just say that they want $30.
Well, if you think about it, like it's saving you from going to the movie. So say you have three people, that's the cost of three tickets, and then you can have cheaper popcorn and cheaper snacks at your own home. So you're paying for the movie experience.
At
I don't know
$30,
why I'm
you
defending them.
could
I just went on the
buy the
tirade about
DVD.
how I know, but the DVD isn't going to be out until October. So
That's fair.
should we dive into the book for our final say on the Fires of Heaven?
Let's do it.
Who do you want to start with?
Let's talk about Elaida.
Which one's Elaida?
Elaida.
Yeah, which one is she?
She overthrows the.
Oh, yeah, Elaida. Guys, Hannah is tired today.
I was like, wait a minute, you don't remember?
What were your thoughts on Elaida?
So, I guess my main takeaway from her is that she doesn't really have the following that we thought she did.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very interesting.
I'd agree.
Because with the whole takeover and down with Swan and was it Leanne?
Leanne,
yeah. Whenever they sadly were removed and stilled, I kind of assumed that Elaida had this huge following. And initially I thought she was a dark friend, but you correctly called it that she is not a dark friend. But I guess I thought that there was going to be like all these Aes Sedai that were on her side and everything, but we learn in this book that that's really not the case, and they kind of just wanted Swan out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very interesting look into what's going on with Elaida, and that really she doesn't have the power that she probably thought she did, and that could be problematic for her.
I would agree with all that. I would also say that I think she is potentially one of the most dangerous characters, because there's nothing more dangerous than a person who thinks that they're right in a very righteous manner and who is willing to burn everything down to prove that they're right.
She's kind of backed into a corner.
Yes.
So
I think it'll be very interesting to see how this goes, with everything. And she's not a good character at all, obviously.
No really likable qualities. The glimpses that we get of her, she's basically complaining about other Aes Sedai and wanting to take people down. So
and she's like isolating herself because she even had like a ton of people who were she had a ton of people who were like her counsel, and then she found out she couldn't trust them because again, I think that Robert Jordan does a really good job of showing that when you try to overthrow power, there's a mess at the other side of things.
Yeah.
And he does this pretty effectively with Rand as well. But I think Elaida definitely shows this off where like there was unrest and she thinks, well, I'll come in and I'll save it. And that's not true. You're not going to save it because you're part of the problem. And there's so much unrest that people now are questioning even you. So I do I love that Jordan did that. I thought that was very well done. Any other thoughts on Elaida?
At the moment, no. I just thought that she was interesting.
I think she's a very interesting character. We don't see too much of her in this book, but what we see is pretty drastic.
Right.
Do you want to talk about Queen Morghese?
Yeah. What do you think of her?
I mean, Jordan does this with every strong-willed woman where it's just like, I'm going to have you come in a moment with her and she's going to be the blandest raisin bran of a person you've ever met.
Yeah.
And later she'll get a personality. I'll figure it out later. So, I mean, obviously she has gone through like a lot of trauma. She realizes like this man was using her.
Which I guess that to me was weird because she seemed so shocked by it. And I don't know.
He's been using mind control on her for a long time. So I felt it was more he got lazy himself on making sure she was properly contained. And she started waking up, because it's like.
Yeah, I guess I kind of equated it to like in the Two Towers when the king was under Saruman's influence and was kind of just out of it. But he didn't have that like moment, or maybe I didn't read it like that, where he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this happened. It was more just like, I can't believe this happened. How stupid. And I guess I kind of was surprised that Morghese was as shocked as she was. But
yeah, I mean, I guess I just saw her as she was pretty much like in a trance for all this time. So she was coming out of the trance and it was just like shocking to her that it was happening. So I didn't necessarily. No, that would be shocking. Yeah. Overall, I mean, she's just kind of bland so far. Robert Jordan introduces lots of women and then gives them no details that you can really link up to.
What do you think about the whole situation with her and Rand there at the end?
Oh, I mean, that's just like a stupid, like, dun, dun, dun. Like, I don't care about that.
Do you think it's going to be one of those deals, though, where she's like, how dare you try to take my throne?
Yeah, I think that's what Jordan is
And
setting
it's
up.
just going to be like a stupid battle that it's like, you guys could have solved this with a quick email. And
yeah, there's definitely that war should have been an email.
like, please don't start a war when you could have just sent an email first.
Yeah, agreed. No, I do not understand. Yeah, that was just a stupid little plot point. It's a book in the 90s. That was like the 90th 90s that ever 90'd.
Right.
And I don't care much for it. I will also say, like, okay, she does not think about her. She has sons, and she rarely mentions them. Like, everything surrounds Elayne.
Hannah, like, if those were your sons, how often would you bring it up? Like, I've got a couple of kids, and one of them's a white cloak, but
well, she doesn't know he's a white cloak yet. You know, that's brand new information to her. But like, it's just so funny that it's just like one of them is not her son technically, actually, but she has a son and Elayne. But she only talks about Elayne ever, and I'm just like, I understand that like motherhood is not for everyone. She's a queen. She has bigger things going on, but she is also a mother.
It may be one of those things too, where I know that they kind of try to depict it like this in a lot of royalty situations where the queen doesn't take care of the children and they have like a wet nurse or something. Maybe that's the situation that she's had to rule the land, and she's ruling Camelin, and so that lady that is pretty much ageless that took care of Elayne was the one raising the kids.
Yeah. Ninny or Linny,
Linny, I think was her name. Yeah. And, which I have more questions about her. When are we going to have her come back?
How old is this woman?
I know.
Why does she have so many sayings that Nynaeve eats up?
She's the Tom Bombadil, and we need her back.
Yes, because if there's one thing I know about Lord of the Rings, it's everyone's favorite character is Tom Bombadil.
Clearly not, because they wrote him out of the movies. So
it's like the first thing I hear from most people who are very into Lord of the Rings is like, why does Tom Bombadil exist?
Tom Bombadil makes no sense.
I mean, I never minded Tom Bombadil. I mean, he was there for what he was there for.
That's true. But I do have questions about this Linny or whatever her name is, because I can't remember.
I mean, she's there. She's Elayne's wet nurse, I guess. I don't know. I just want to know how old she is, because this woman seems like she's
like to know too.
Ancient.
From the Fountain of Youth.
I mean, she is technically more equipped to be with Tom.
Tom Marilyn?
Yeah, I'm joking.
Old people forever.
Old people forever. But yeah, I don't understand that dynamic. Everything was very strange with Morghese, and I feel like she was used more for plot instead of character development. And maybe that's my problem with her. She was exactly just a plot point.
And also, we really knew nothing about her. At all. And so it's one of those things where it's just like suddenly you're thrown in like, here is her point of view. Like, oh really? Okay, did we need to know this? No, not really, but all right.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been better if it was just like she's dead, and then a couple books later you find out she's not dead.
I know.
I don't know.
That would have been more interesting, more of a shock factor, but
right. I don't know. So funny. Okay, who would we like to discuss next?
What do you think about Swan?
I mean, she likes a good fish's tail.
What on earth is this whole like weird thing with that guy following her?
Oh God, that was the worst. He just became so obsessed with her. He had to follow her across the country because she broke a vow.
I don't understand.
I don't understand either, Laura. It was bad. It's not good.
She also has just like such vibes of like, I am not letting this go. I am going to see this out. I am going to get revenge, and I'm going to do it my way. And I dig that about her, but there's also some really like problematic things going on with her. I'm like, okay, do you need to be doing it this way? Can you
She gives me heavy book one Nynaeve vibes.
Yeah.
Like she is very much like, I feel like Jordan only writes empowered, like feisty women one way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very sexualized.
Oh yeah.
And it's very annoying.
That's probably why Swan became like so young.
Yeah. Well, she had to because she wanted to date a guy who was almost her age. So she had to.
True. Must be 20 years younger.
Must be 20 years younger. That is a key point. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Again, there's not too much to Suyan, and I think we could probably lump her with Liani because it's just like these women have. Again, Jordan does this whenever he introduces a new character. He gives them 3 identifying factors, and he just repeats those. Like,
and the thing we learn about Liani is good at flirting.
Good at flirting. She was a Damani woman, and she needed to relearn how to flirt. And they point that out too, that she wasn't great at flirting, but then she got great at flirting.
Excellent.
Min wants to learn from her.
What do you think about Min?
So here's the thing. I think I low-key like Min, but I don't know why.
I don't know why either. So I think maybe this is just me thinking this is how you're coming at it, that you have such high hopes for this character and you want something to happen with this character so badly that you're like, it's going to happen. And,
oh no, I know nothing will happen with this character.
And I just don't see it happening. And I appreciate that you want certain things to happen with this character and that you think that it could be a really good one, but I just don't think he's going to do it.
Okay, here's the thing. I know he's not going to do it. There are no qualms in my mind that Min's going to do anything at all.
Besides learn how to flirt.
Besides learn how to flirt and be a girlfriend to Rand and the nicest girlfriend he has.
Yeah.
Apparently. The one he actually kind of likes. Most, but yeah, God.
Is mean to him in his dreams.
I don't have a good reason to like Min. I think I like Min because she's different. Like it's I'm not reading the same character over and over and over again. Because like sometimes when you're reading like Elayne to Nynaeve, they have overlapping narratives. They do all this stuff. And Min kind of is out over there doing her own thing. So I think when you're reading her stuff, it's a little bit of a change up. Like it's just a different, fresh story that and maybe it's that. Maybe I like where her story takes us. And it's more interesting to me because you're just seeing a lot of people interact and miscommunicate all over the place everywhere else. Like it's like Rand is like, I just wish Matt would leave and be happy for a while. And Matt's like, why does Rand keep me here?
Why am I in these shackles?
Rand, you must let me go.
Rand, I am tied to you right now.
And so you're just reading a bunch of different perspectives of the same plot point, but Min is usually over here doing her own thing, and you're learning a lot more from the story from her than you are from other people. She doesn't say much besides, I really miss Rand and I just want Rand. But overall, I like aspects of her, even if I don't like her. I guess I do like her though, because I have a soft spot for Min. I think I just have a soft spot for her. She's a little different.
That's fair.
I do want her to cut her hair. I want her to cut her hair because I don't.
Is her hair that long?
Well, I just started book 6 and it's like down to her shoulders now. And I'm just like, that's too long. Cut your hair. You liked it short. Just keep it short.
She's in disguise. No one will ever figure out that it's her.
So dumb. But okay, so you can go off on Min though. You tell us why she sucks.
I don't really have anything to go off on necessarily. I just think that her character is just, I wish I could flirt with Rand and I wish I could be with Rand. I love him so much. And it's like, you don't know this guy. And that's all I have to say about that.
Fair point. Do you want to talk about who do you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about Elayne and Nynaeve.
Okay,
you just mentioned that you don't really like their shenanigans. I enjoy their shenanigans. Like them in the circus and stuff like that. Like, come on, that's kind of fun. And the two of them together make me giggle. And I don't know if it's just the dynamic between the two of them where, like, occasionally Elayne is just like, Nynaeve, stop being Nynaeve. You're Nynaeving everywhere. And I don't know if it's that or I just like the two of them together. And they're horrible liars and it's great.
They're horrible liars. Is that Brigitte from olden days? Obviously not. It's just definitely her.
I have a secret. I can't tell you, but the secret is this.
So dumb. I actually liked Nynaeve in this book.
I know
I thought,
you're coming around.
well, I mean, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I just thought she's having personal growth. She's seeing the world. She's having a little bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
She is the most obtuse character when it comes to her own self.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but we already knew that. Hannah talks about it every single week without fail. But like, I guess the problem is like I barely like Nynaeve.
Mm-hmm.
And for as much as I'm like, I can't put my finger on why I like men so much. I can't put my finger on why I can't have any opinion on Elayne at all. Like I have zero opinion on her. And half the time I'm like, well, we're not around her that much. And I'm like, Hannah, she was a ton of POVs in this. You just can't retain anything she says or does.
I think you're maybe blocking her out.
Yeah. And so for some reason, I'm very much blocking Elayne out. And I just don't care about her enough yet. Like she's just nothing to me. And so like I don't care about them at the circus because it's just like, ooh, she's gonna go up on a live wire, and it feels like we're doing like a bottle episode somewhere else.
Oh,
and it's
sure.
not like, and it's not actually adding to the plot, like Suyan and like men and their shenanigans are doing. I just feel like their shenanigans are like Robert Jordan being like, well, they need to do something, so
exactly
circus plot. And I just kind of am like, okay. And like I do like that, like Elaine's learning how to make a Terra and Grial. I like that.
I was gonna say she has some significant power, and she's really good at channeling. So because I mean she uses it to perform in the circus, and I don't know, I kind of liked her in this book really, but I think my thing is I really like her interactions with the other women.
Yeah.
And I despise her interactions with Rand. Anytime she talks about Rand, or honestly Tom Maryland, her father,
father.
Not gonna let it go.
I know, and it's never not funny to me that you call him her dad.
Flirts with her dad, but if Nynaeve finds out about this, she's gonna be furious. But anyways, yeah, I just really enjoy Elaine's interactions with the other women, and I think that's when she's maybe the most interesting. When they, like in the other book, when they were going into dreams and stuff like that, I thought that Elayne was interesting, and I think that Elayne is interesting in this book too, when she's interacting with Brigitte, and how do you say her name? Brigitte? Or Brigitte?
I always say Brigitte, but
Brigitte. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that her interactions with the other women are really good, and I just think that her interactions with men are awful. But I think that just may be the way that Robert Jordan has written her to be like this, I love you, Rand type character.
Maybe my thing with her, and this could be totally off, so anyone can disagree with me, at me on Twitter, whatever. A lot of her personality is telling people what she learned from other people. Like,
okay,
Linny told me this, and like, my mom back at the castle, this is how I would do it, and this is how and I think I just don't care. Like, it's like if I had a conversation with you every time, and I'm like, well, my sister told me this wonderful thing, and like, oh, but back when I was at our sorority, I learned that. It's just like, I don't. Why? Like, I
mean, it might be like the equivalent of like people nowadays, sharing their experience in something and being like, I did this, so I have experience here that I can share with you to help you understand why I think this or whatever.
Right. I just wish Elayne had more of her own thought process coming through. Like she doesn't really question anything.
I think she's kind of, the way that I kind of take her is like she's the highly educated one, that she maybe doesn't have a lot of worldly experience per se, but she has a lot of education.
I don't know. She's just a big nothing to me. Sorry, guys. I try with her every single book. I just can't retain anything of what she does. So, yeah, what you're saying is not wrong at all.
Mhm.
And I think we should probably all listen to Laura on the Elayne takes and not Hannah, because for some reason when I don't get in on a character, I just like just stop caring. Like,
I mean,
but
I can see where you're coming from, but I think that she does have a lot of likable qualities. I just think that her interactions with Rand and Tom are horrendous, and they maybe kind of cloud out some of the others really good things about her. But
that's fair. I don't know. She's fine. I don't dislike her by any means, and I think that that's the point. I don't dislike her, but I don't like her.
Yeah,
so
you're
she's
just neutral.
I'm very neutral to Elayne.
Okay, tell us about Nynaeve though. You like her?
I do like Nynaeve. I don't know why. I guess because she, like there's a little bit more of a learning curve. She's really she started interacting with people more than just screaming at them.
Yeah.
And I like that, like her talking with Elayne, her talking with Egwene after they have their stupid tussle of like drink the sicky liquid.
Drink this tea. Oh, okay.
She was really
gonna make me do it.
She was really gonna do it.
I can't believe she thought I'd make her do that.
Oh God, it's so dumb. But yeah, I thought she was so much better in this book. I thought like her personal growth was showing through. I thought her like watching her actually be frustrated with wanting to use her power, because for like the longest time she was just screaming at people like, I don't want to be an Aes Sedai. But then you're still at the school, you're still trying to learn, you know. Right. And like all of a sudden
we find out she wants to be a yellow Aja.
Right. And I was like, oh, I didn't see that one coming, you know.
But it makes sense.
It makes total sense. And like I hope she gets it. I want that for her. And like her going up against Mogadine and winning and being like, I know that you're on the other side of this world. I'll have control of you, you know. And her being fearful of Mogadine. And like I liked seeing Nynaeve. Like I love that Nynaeve is powerful, but I also think sometimes the best power is shown through vulnerability. Yeah. For most characters, I think all characters, it's better when you can see vulnerability and power, because then it's not just watching someone be bullheaded and stupid. Right. It's watching someone who's fighting for something. And, you know, I also like that she like kind of has some like admitting that she has issues with Moiraine. It's just like, it's like, oh, you finally see some things that like, you were ignoring. So I really liked her growth in this book, and I thought she did well with it. So, and you've always been a Nynaeve fan.
Yeah, I've always been a Nynaeve fan, but I think that there's definitely some humility that she shows in this book, and that, you know, she is definitely kind of coming into her own as far as diving into her interests when she becomes an Aes Sedai. And I liked that she was interested in stilling and trying to figure out more about that. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of good qualities to Nynaeve, that she's a caring person, and she's kind of one of those that'll be in your corner and you'd want her in your corner, but at the same time she really is a kind of a self-conscious person, and we're kind of seeing more of that side.
Yeah, I think overall, good job, Nynaeve, on growing. Yeah. Do we want to do Egwene?
Yeah, go ahead.
She disappointed me in this book. I just feel like he's kind of putting her on the back burner. Like he's having her do things.
This wasn't really an Egwene book.
Yeah, it's not really an Egwene book, but he also still tried to like force in some character growth with like no no showing for it. Like all of a sudden she's just like, I'm gonna stand up to Nynaeve, and the only difference is Nynaeve actually listens this time.
Right.
And like there's no learning of why Nynaeve started listening to her. She just did it because of reasons. And then like Moiraine starts trusting Egwene more and talking to her like they're two, you know, like friends. But again, there's no reason for it. Like it just happens so Robert Jordan can show you how much Egwene is starting to become a powerful person. And so that I didn't love. I was just a little disappointed in her.
I mean, she's also kind of just the character that's there to be like, Avienda, this is our custom, but you know.
Yeah. Like
she's just kind of delivering messages here and there.
And she like doesn't, her and her friendship with Avienda barely shows through. Like I just didn't.
There's not a lot that happens with her.
No, I just didn't feel anything for her on the page this time around, and that's disappointing. But what about you?
I mean, I agree that there's just not enough there to really make any kind of assessment because, I mean, she's just kind of servicing other characters in this book.
Right. I'd agree. Robert Jordan used my favorite character better. Just do it. We're both disappointed by our favorite characters.
Robert
Because...
Jordan, can mind getting an annulment?
Are you taking requests? Please
Can
do.
we please go back in time?
Shall we talk Moiraine?
Rest in power.
Rest in power. 10 out of 10 in this book. I mean, she just did it all. She did the thing. She killed Lanfear. Thank God, because Lanfear was so
Good
effing
riddance.
annoying. No one will miss you. Not even Rand. Rand does not miss you, girl. You and your full house hair can take it and leave.
Yeah, goodbye, Lanfear. I don't think that we could have had a better person leave the series at this point. We just get sick of reading about her. She's just annoying, and she just comes in at the worst possible times, and all she really has to add is "You will be mine, Luce Theron." And it's just like, okay, cool, get out of here.
Comes in and thirsts over Rand. That's it. That's all there is to
Disguises herself. Woohoo. Glad she's gone. And Moiraine, rest in power. You are brilliant and you have had everything figured out, and you are a mind reader because you had those letters written that you gave to them, and you knew how this was going to work, and we miss you so much.
And you were about to lose the love of your life, Tom.
Don't worry. Tom is in good hands with his daughter, Elayne.
Do you think Moiraine is gone forever?
No.
Obviously not. Moiraine will be back, guys.
Do you think Lanfear is gone forever?
Yes, I do. So, yeah. What about all the Aes Sedai? Let's just talk about them as a collective person, because I don't want to talk. I don't want to any of them.
Like the ones at the tower, or
sure, the ones at the tower,
or the blue Aja that are weird. I don't.
It's just like a lot of people trying to like get one over on someone.
It seems very petty, but
yeah,
that's all I really have to say about it. It just seems like a lot of pettiness between all of them.
I agree. They're all petty women. And it's really weird that Jordan decided to do this and have them all just be petty near each other.
I mean, women working together, you know how it is, right?
Girls working together, you know how it is.
Can only mean one thing.
Catfight.
All
of them. And the way they treat Suyan, who was like in a power of like, she was an authority figure. And they're like, yeah, we get to like disrespect you now because you're you're stilled. So like, I don't really have to be nice to you anymore because you have no power over me. Labyrinth style. But like, it's just so dumb. Like, it's like, that's not how real people work. Like, they would still have respect for her. Like, she was voted as someone who was powerful.
And also, they're trying to work together and they need her.
Yeah.
So what do you gain from being like that to her? It's dumb.
It's dumb. I didn't like it. No, thank you, Robert Jordan. No, thank you. Do we have anyone else to talk about?
Yeah.
Who?
Avienda.
The way you just said Avienda. Yeah, Avienda.
Have you ever seen the SNL sketch to the Californicans?
No.
Or what? Maybe it's not the Californicans, or maybe it's just the Californians. I don't remember. But they make fun of that show, and they're like, "What? You had a baby with my brother?" And they talk with the most horrendous accents.
It's amazing.
But it's good. Fred Armisen is very funny in those.
Of course. Avienda. Yeah, let's discuss Avienda. She sucks.
Horrible.
Which sucks because like she could be such a good character, and
Is it just maybe, you know how we're all worried about like Rand doing a lot of bad things and blowing up things, but really the only things that he's blowing up is our perceptions of women.
Oh my god. He's just blowing up our perceptions of women.
Everyone's worried about him and like kind of skating around him like he's gonna just destroy everything. And the only thing that he's ruining for me really is how I feel about some of these women characters.
That's fair. That's
Because
fair.
I think if he did not have this weird power over these three that are his lovers, I would probably like all of them a lot more.
Right? No, you're right. It would be so much better without them. I agree. It's all Rand's fault. Like that's what this means at the end of the day. It is all Rand's fault.
And Avienda has potential to be a really good character, and there are good things about her character, but when you get Rand involved and he's involved with her storyline pretty much the entire book, it doesn't bode well.
Nope, it does not. And I don't want to see it. I just don't care. No, thank you. Fade to Black Avienda.
You.
Just like stop making the woman's only personality trait that like they're obsessed with Rand.
So thirsty for you, Rand. I can't handle it.
I have to give you
I'm gonna run into this portal naked.
I have to give you a present and then tell you it's because I hate you.
I have a present for you. Oh, what is it? It's only for people I hate. Is that me? Yes.
It's for either people I hate or people I love. So I'm the one you hate. Yes, that's obviously what it is.
Am I the one that you love? Yeah, they're pretty much the worst. I
just don't like it.
And
no,
sadly, they're the best of the three.
You're right.
They make the most sense.
So unfortunate. I just don't like it. I don't want to watch them fall in love. I don't care. And like, here's the thing. Rand does not show that he is in love with Avienda at any course. Like he gives her gifts and he's kind of a little like stalkery of her.
I think he's just lusting after her.
Yeah. All I get from him is like pure lust. I don't get anything that shows like he actually is interested in dating this woman. And like he just wanted to marry her because they had sex and he thought that that was the right thing to do. And like, you know, if they had gotten married in this world, like he would have just spent like books saying like, how am I going to tell like Elayne and what happens when she finds out we can no longer be, and what happens when like Min finds out. I mean, I know I have no right to Min, but he would have just been thirsting after these girls. I don't understand it. I think it's using Avienda in such a bad way, and she could be this great character, but we don't get to see it because of stupid Rand, who we actually like. It's just frustrating when he is the reason that all these other people suck.
I think we're meant to assume that him and Avienda spend so much time together that they're talking all the time and getting to know each other, but we don't really see a ton of that. Honestly, it
happened in the book before this, but not in this book. So I don't know what they really wanted from us.
I guess you're just meant to assume that it does happen, that they're still growing together as a couple and learning things like, oh, favorite color, that kind of thing.
Ugh. The favorite color conversation. I just
will not let that go.
Oh no. I mean, again, Nynaeve just knows Land's favorite colors for no reason. Just walking around. Oh my goodness.
Are there any other characters we need to talk about?
I don't think so. We talked about Avienda, so
Avienda.
I don't know. This is just
we could talk about Fail.
I mean, Laura, we're gonna
God, she's not in this book. Oh.
Well, guess what? I started book 6 and
she's back.
Also, book 6. Let's just small spoiler, guys. Why is the introduction so damn long?
It's an hour.
No, it was 2 hours, Laura. The audiobook was 2 hours of my time on the prologue.
That's amazing.
Guys, it was too long. I'm not even done with the prologue yet, guys.
Oh, that's great.
Guys, the prologue is 74 pages.
Wow.
It's too long.
Yikes.
Sorry, slight spoilers for next week, but it bothered me.
I will say I do like the title of some of these books. Like, Robert Jordan knows how to name a horse, and he knows how to have a tagline. And Lord of Chaos is like my new favorite thing. I love that title.
Love this journey for you.
Love the title.
Buckle up, people. I mean, how that not all the names of the books can be winners.
I mean, The Great Hunt was very misleading because there was nothing great about that. But
I mean, you have A Memory of Light.
did he name that, or was that Brandon Sanderson?
I mean, maybe we can blame Brandon Sanderson, but Brandon Sanderson has good named books, so I don't know.
Okay, back on you, Jordan.
Crossroads of Twilight. What does that mean?
I mean, I don't think that's a bad name.
I like most of the other ones. I don't like Crossroads of Twilight. It feels
Winter's
like
Heart, isn't that one of them?
Yeah, The Path of Daggers. That's
a
pretty
good
name.
one.
A Crown of Swords.
I like that.
Knife of Dreams.
I think that one's good.
The Gathering Storm. And Towers of Midnight. See, Towers of Midnight makes sense. Crossroads of Twilight makes me think that I'm about to get into a steamy romance novel with a guy who's shirtless laying on a rock. That's what that gives me, but I don't think that that's what he meant to evoke.
Vampires.
Especially because the book cover is just people on horses, but it shows Matt's hat and it's very silly.
I have all of the mass market editions, the paperback ones, and they have the awesome pictures on them. And some of the pictures, I'm like, okay, what is going on here with some of these people? I'm trying to like pick out the scenes and who is on them. And I will say that Perrin does not look very good in some of these, but so I did not enjoy that. But some of the pictures, I'm like, okay, when they talk about wagons, like literally this is Little House on the Prairie type covered wagons that they're using. Okay.
Oh, of course it is. I love that. Okay. Well, we will wrap up this discussion. What did you think overall of the Fires of Heaven? Are we ready to be done with it? Are we happy to be done with it?
No, I really liked it.
Me too. I thought it was great.
Are you ready for the next one?
I mean, not really, because I'm in a reading slump right now.
Yeah.
So be prepared, guys, for a riveting discussion next week where Hannah did not want to read.
Do you have like tricks to get out of reading slumps?
It's mostly just taking my time to take a minute and like really rest and like trust that I needed a break,
Sure.
So that was what I was going to do.
I have seen like several tips on Bookstagram for getting out of reading slumps. And some of them I think make sense, where people will say, read a favorite book that you can reread quickly, or a children's book, or grab a short story that is kind of fast paced, or a thriller. So I think those are pretty good tips.
I mostly just watch TV until it's over.
Just wait it out.
Yeah. I kind of just trust that, like, if I'm in a reading slump, there's a reason for it. Like, my mind's just not in it, and I need to take a mental break.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm taking a mental break right now, guys. Well, I'm not, because we have to talk about a giant book next week.
Sure. And this is a long one.
It is. It is much longer than The Fires of Heaven.
It's like 1,000 pages.
But it's also only, I think Robert Jordan discovered long chapters in this book because it's only like 56 chapters.
Well, the other chapters were like, some were only like 10 pages. So,
but next week, it's 55 chapters and the longest prologue I've ever read in my life. So next week, we will be discussing chapters 1 through 22.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no. 27, right? Yeah, 27. Okay, yeah. So next week, we will be discussing chapters 1 through 27 of Lord of Chaos. We will do an extra chapter the week after, but only because, as I said, the prologue is 74 pages. So we're going to give us some time to get through that.
Fair.
So join us next time. And please follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Our Pod. That's OWWR Pod. You can also email us your thoughts on the Fires of Heaven and any of the characters at ourpod@gmail.com. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Rating, reviewing, and subscribing really lets us get our name out there and helps get other people to join in on the conversation. We hope you enjoyed listening this week, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.